Tech scams, identity thieves, data leaks. Hearing about these online threats every day can be stressful. But don't worry. McAfee Total Protection is here to help you live a worry-free life online. What does worry-free mean? Well, it means you won't have to wonder if that text message is a scam, if new threats will pop up on your PC, or if you're safe from identity theft. Visit McAfee.com/online protection today to get award-winning online protection for just $39.99 your first year. That's McAfee.com/online protection. Cancel anytime. Terms apply.
Welcome to an exclusive episode of Mind Love. Today's episode is all about the purpose of suffering.
The purpose of your suffering is really it's a cry from your soul and from life asking you to love yourself and value yourself more deeply on a mental, emotional, and then physical level so that you can enjoy your life and not hurt yourself anymore, not let yourself get hurt anymore, and not cause suffering for the people around you anymore. And so we can't get away from all forms of suffering. There's a lot of suffering that's intrinsic to life, like aging and losing people that you love. You know, everybody's going to die eventually. And when you think of life in that way, you know, the people you love the most, they're gonna die eventually, and you're going to die eventually. So what's the legacy, you know, you want to leave here?
Everything happens for a reason. We've all heard that, right? That idea has provided a lot of guidance in my life, or hope at least. Between tragedies and my own bad decisions, I've been dragged through the mud. And the idea that it could all just be random or chance can be kind of hard to cope with. At the same time, though, when you're in it, when you're really struggling, sometimes to even get up in the morning, that same phrase, everything happens for a reason, can also kind of make me want to scream. Like, dude, I don't care what the reason is. I am not on board with this plan. Abort mission. Unsubscribe from divine design. The thing is, though, that bad things are always going to happen. You're going to get dragged through the mud just by nature of existing. And as hard as it is when you're in it to gather the efforts to get up and out, no one's going to do it for you. You have to make the choice. Or you have to decide that the pain of staying where you are is greater than the pain of change. I've shared before that there have been times during California's pretty intense COVID lockdowns that I've been pretty humbled. I forgot how hard it is when you're in those depths to make that choice. Doing things that light me up sound like the worst things ever when I'm sitting in the darkness with Netflix and wine. And that's with a decade of mindfulness work under my belt. We tend to create from the energy that we're in. And by create, I mean the ideas we come up with, the interactions that we have, the energy we spread. The default is to maintain our status quo. So when you're in a low vibration, the ideas that you have or the actions that you think will feel good will likely be the things that will just keep your low vibration. And that's the hard part, because the only way to get out is to choose something different, something to disrupt your homeostasis. So level 1 of the get up and out plan might just be to take a small action, get some exercise, spend some time in nature, take care of yourself a little. And even that can be hard sometimes. But the real work is making these actions the default. It's the whole lifestyle change, which is daunting, right? For a long time, at the peak of all my traumas, I was teetering in this middle space, making really good decisions followed by a really bad one. Like getting up early for a yoga class, watching the sunrise, eating healthy organic food throughout the day, followed by a binge and purge session and an all-night ecstasy binge. I was like split personalities with this spiritual yogi and some shit show party girl. So my highs were really high, especially when I was literally high, and my lows were super low. It was exhausting and not at all sustainable. And you might have your own version of that, like having a day with high vibe activities, and then an evening laying on the floor crying, wondering what all this is for. It doesn't really matter if you've gone through something big and traumatic, or just feel overwhelmed by all the day-to-day hardships. Either way, we all suffer. Even those that seem to have everything handed to them on a silver platter and you think that they have life just made, they will find a way to create their own suffering. I've found that the number one thing I can do to ease my own suffering, regardless of what the world throws at me, is to just figure out how to love myself. And I'm not talking about those vague, superficial versions of self-love marketed to us just to sell another product. I mean actually realizing who you are at your core and understanding how to meet your own needs on a moment-to-moment basis. Our relationships with ourselves are the most important relationships that we have, and ironically, they seem to be the ones that tend to get the most neglected. Until we start connecting with ourselves and finding our own center, we're going to be thrown off balance by everything happening around us. So that's what we're talking about today. And our guest is Blake Bauer, the author of the international best-selling book, You Were Not Born to Suffer. He's a world-renowned teacher and speaker and has a pretty extensive background in psychology, alternative medicine, nutrition, traditional healing, and mindfulness meditation. Well, his expertise comes from his own personal experience just overcoming deep suffering and addiction, and what he's learned from helping over 100,000 people worldwide. 3 key things we will learn are how sufferings prepare us for enjoyment and happiness, the first step to finding our way out of our mental suffering, and how to navigate emotions and thoughts that come up right now, both inside ourselves and within our personal relationships. Hey there, Wild Minds. So this was just a preview, but you can access the whole episode with a Mind Love Premium membership. If Mind Love has been helpful to you in any way, consider helping support the show by joining this exclusive community. I promise I'm making it totally worth it. You get exclusive episodes, which means twice the Mind Love, in a private feed that imports right to your favorite podcast app, so you don't have to go to the web to listen. And that's not all. You also get all Mind Love episodes ad-free for uninterrupted listening. You get early access to episodes, and you get bonus video interviews and powerful meditation downloads. And finally, you get priority access to me, so you're free to reach out to me with any questions that you have about life, love, relationships, success, whatever it might be. And in more good news, you can get started free with a 2-week free trial. Just go to mindlove.com/premium. And if you're a student, reach out to me on Instagram and I'll give you a special discount.